Är blåa start igång eller?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 43rd edition of the epic Lake Garda Easter meeting. What you are about to witness is the largest regatta on this planet 2025. We have over 800 sailors on the water, and in the studio we have myself, Robin, and together with me I have the sailing experts, Lova, Forssén.
Yes, welcome back for another day of sailing here. We are at the last day of the qualifying series for this Garda meeting. What you can see now on the drone footage is the starting procedure for the blue group.
The yellow group launched a couple of minutes ago, and they are approaching the first mark, but we'll keep our eyes now on the blue fleet. We're still there's not the final series, it's the last day of the qualifying series. So blue fleet, yellow fleet, no individual ranking, it's just the starting order that is decided in that way. Well, Lova, if you look at the starting line here, it looks like the sailors are staying quite far off from the starting line, wouldn't you say?
Yes, as you can see here, we have a lot of sailors at the pennants, and I think the start is right now. But as you can see, I would say that the pennant favor is the best alternative here. We also saw that in the yellow fleet for a minute there before we changed. And today we also have a new wind direction. So we will see how this goes, but it's pretty light wind today. We have, I would say that we have 6 to 8 knots right now. Hopefully maybe the wind will pick up, but we have some clouds today.
The sailors have been out in the water for a couple of hours already, waiting for this start. And something you see here, which is one of those things that are special to the Lake Garda Easter meeting, is that you have a starting line with a committee boat in the middle, and then you have a pin on each end. So you have a very, very, very long starting line. But at the same time, we have one of the biggest fleets as well. So it is for a good reason. Yeah. We get a nice view of the fleet, the yellow fleet, sorry, the blue fleet.
So what we can expect from the day is 2 races. So the last 2 races in the qualifying series. Yesterday we had 3 races, so it will be a total of 7 races for the qualifying series if the wind stays like this for the rest of the day. Today we will film the start in the live stream and also the upwind grounding, and then we also will show you the meta sail.
And in this blue fleet, we have Jesper Karlsson, who's actually in the lead, and he's sailing with Italy, 9826 as sailing number. And he's in the lead of the regatta with 4 bullets. Hence just 4 points in the total ranking. So look out for Jesper here from is sailing in Italy, 9826.
We also have been talking a lot about Jesper for the past couple of days. So
that's for a very good reason.
Yeah.
Fantastic sailor indeed. But I mean, it's quite tight in the lead now for the regatta as we enter the last day of the qualifying series. I mean, we have Jasper in the lead with natural, well, 4 bullets, 4 points. But also we have Leonardo, also Italian sailor, with just 6 points. We have Arthur, Italian sailor with 9759. Really? Are we actually switching? With also 6 points, so it's very, very tight in lead. And then followed by Andrea Dumartas, who also had some really good sailing yesterday. And Isa Kaplan from Sweden at the fifth place with 8 points. Then he's followed by another Swedish sailor, Ernst Åkesson. And then in the seventh and eighth position, we am happy to say we have two sailors from Malta. I used to live there myself for 4 years. So we have Isaac Azopardi and Andre Jacob, both from Bursa. Yeah.
Blåa. Okej. Byt till.
Now we're lovely to the first mark. It's quite. You can't really see the castle in Arco from here. A little too much clouds, but nonetheless, it's a magnificent view, I must say.
And as you can see, we're closing into the top mark. And I would say it's pretty spread out during the fleet in the top. Right now, from where we're sitting here, we can also see that it feels like a lot of the sailors in the top of the fleet is coming from the.
Whoa, that's a rib going really close to the leader. But it's the race committee rib, so I guess he knows what he's doing. Otherwise, in light wind like this, it's not really.
That's a flag for they abandoned the race. So the fleet will go down to the starting line again.
That's bad luck for bad luck. It's unfortunate for Jesper, who was there, scoring for his fifth bullet.
So we will see what the reason why they abandoned the race was. But I mean, as I said, I think the wind is maybe too light right now for the
Yeah, it looks like
sailors.
it.
Yeah. So the fleet will go down to the start again, and then hopefully we will have a new starting procedure soon enough.
So also the Yellow Fleet, we have a banner race. So most likely little too little wind. Here we have a nice view looking from the north to south of Lake Garda. On the left-hand side, you'll see Malchese, where you actually today have the Easter meet in Ilka. You have Ilka 4 and Ilka 6 sailing there, roughly 300 sailors. And now switch the drone view to watch the Opti fleet, and you have the Torbola mountain there in the center. So Lova, I know you spent some time preparing at the land for this broadcast, and we had actually ran across some very interesting people from Sweden. Tell us
Yes.
about it.
So I was on in the harbor, like I think it was the first day of the regatta. So I interviewed a Swedish family from the West Coast. They're doing wetsuits for only girls. So they are made for girls, so it's easy to go to the toilet. But you will hear all about it in the interview that we will
Oh,
show you
perfect.
guys now.
I can't wait.
Yes.
For us, and we are here for the first time in Garda. The journey actually started 40 years ago when our daughter was down here to sail the first time in the Opti, and we discovered that she couldn't actually pee outside the water on the water. So she was coming in after 8 days, oh sorry, 8 hours on the water, totally without energy because she haven't been drinking at all. So how was it?
It was tough because it was my first competition in Opti, and I had dry suits, and I couldn't pee, and I didn't drink at all, so I got headaches, and yeah.
And then my wife, who is a fashion designer from the past, decided to do something about this. And she, together with our daughter Tuali, decided to develop the dropsip solution.
Yes. So we have this Jane here, and you just open up. If you hold down the leg, you open up here in the front, and you can go all the way around, and you fold this down. You have this little patch over your bottom, so you don't feel that naked when you're undressed, and you just put it up and close it again. So this is really helpful. Before you go out in the water, you can go to the toilet, or when you're out sailing, you can just do whatever you need to do and not fully undressed.
And
So this is one thing that we developed, and we also got jackets and boots and stuff. And this is made of limestone, so it's really smooth, and it keeps you warmer than normal neoprene does. So it's really good.
And it's also made in a material which has no additives to it, so it's less likely that you get wetsuit rashes. That was a huge problem for Tuva when she sailed. She got rashes all over her body from the wetsuit. But nowadays, when you sail, you don't get that. So
No,
that's also a good
really
thing. Another thing with the wetsuits is that we make them in sizes that fits all types of gulls, from the smallest ones to the biggest ones. So we have users in all types of classes and all types of boats. Yeah, and we do a lot of other things as well. We have one girl here, Julieta. She has been using our wetsuit in the Opti for almost a year. How do you like it, Julieta?
I like it very much. It's super warm and really smart.
Yeah. And you started to use it back home in Sweden when it was cold, and you use it now here in Garda when it's cold as well. And I asked you earlier today if you were freezing, but you are not freezing at all. No, so that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a short introduction to us. We are not happy about the weather for the young sailors. We hope it will be better in the coming days, but right now it's pouring rain and no wind. Yeah.
So, welcome to the 43rd edition of Lake Garda Easter Meeting, the greatest and largest regatta on this planet. We just saw the start of the Yellow Fleet. It's the final day of the qualifying series. And we see here that Jesper, who's actually in the lead of the full regatta, started super well on the right-hand side. We have nice drone views here following the first line of the fleet. It's been a little break. We had to abandon the races this morning due to way too little wind, but it seems like a late aura is picking up with good winds from the south. And here we can see the top of the fleet, and in the background we see Riva del Garda, the home for the epic Lake Garda Easter meeting. So together with me in the studio, my name is Robin. I have Peter Åkesson with me. So Peter, what would you say here when seeing the sailors? They've been waiting most of the day to get to this moment.
Absolutely, Robin. But I also have to say that I feel very energetic about the rest of the day now. We sat here, it was sunny, it was warm, and it was no wind at all, right? And then all of a sudden, we had gusts of wind coming in, and the way it really rapidly built felt like the typical Aura characteristics. So I feel good about at least having 5 fleets doing one race. Maybe even if we can stay out long enough, we'll get the full 10 races for the day.
And we pretty much have the full lake to ourselves. Our friends down in Malchese have abandoned their races for the day, which is the Ilka fleet. So for all the parents and spectators being here in Garda for watching the races, this is the event. So we're sending the drones back to watch the start for the blue fleet. That is the plan. And then once the yellow fleet approaches the first mark, we hope to get some good coverage from that as well. So here we have the committee boat in the middle of the starting line. I mean, it's one of those peculiar things with the Lake Garda Easter meeting that you actually have the committee boat in the middle, and then you have the pin on each side. So very, very long starting line with the committee boat in the middle.
And looking at the flag in the starting boat, it looks like we're having a fine south wind to sail at. So hopefully this will carry on for a couple of hours, yeah. It gives you very many opportunities to either go pin and either of the sides, right? Or you can do two committee starts more or less. So it's like having a double line, right?
Yeah, indeed. But still, here in Garda, it's not only the starting line; it's also the position close to the mountains. Sometimes it's extremely favorable to be the first boat next to a mountain. You can actually get a wind that is almost coming from the mountain to give you a super boost. But sometimes they're not. So it's all down to both experience and guts for these keen sailors.
Absolutely, and we saw some starts yesterday that was where many of these sailors, since the line is so long, decided to go for the same place, right? And then the chaos ensues, right?
But we saw just Jesper Karlsson starting to the far right and continuing right after in the yellow fleet now, and he's in the lead of full regattas. That could have been a good move.
Let's see.
Well, let's see. Let's get going.
Looking like it's going close to the start, yeah.
So here we have the drone view of the yellow fleet approaching the first mark. We see the leader of the regatta, Jesper Karlsson, here closest to us on screen with sailing for Italy, 98.26. And Jesper's followed hereby in Italy, 99.70. That's actually Nicola Leonardi, who's actually in. That can't be correct. That can't be correct. Sorry. I can't stop. I don't the yellow fleet. So we see Jesper running first, and then now we have the Norwegian sailor Oskar Jerpenhauser, who's actually on place 120 in the regatta so far. So very, very good sailing from him. He's followed by Italian sailor 99.70 and one more Italian sailor 99.21. It's a very, very nice drone angle here. I think all the viewers actually can read the numbers of the various boats. I think that's something we have to compliment the Swiss on. And here, rounding the mark, we have Casper Ramm-Ericson for 905.
Very important for Robin. They share actually the same last name, right?
Yeah, but also Casper will already have a Lake Garda plate from his cadet years. So now he's racing for the big plate. Well, maybe not this year, but he's born 2012, so many years to come.
And that's a joke back home. What's better than a plate, Robin?
Well, 3 plates. We have.
Yes, exactly. First one of 3 plates, yeah?
Yeah. Det känns utstött. Då ska vi inte se roundingen, den är ju faktiskt väldigt bra.
Very nice seeing the round here on the first mark in the Jelly Fleet. I'll see whether we can send our drones over to the start for the Red Fleet. They're about to start shortly. And then we'll try to come back to the Yellow Fleet once they're ready for the rounding. Whoa, that is getting tight here now on the rounding. Very, very nice. You there? We are actually still here with you. We are switching drones, so we'll keep this black for a few seconds, but then we'll be back here with the red starting line. So this is the start of the Red Fleet. We're now approaching. Seconds. And we have a restart of a general recall and a restart for the Red Fleet.
That or a very mad judge running around, but I think it's the former, right?
Well, one can never be too sure here. Ingen ljud på sändning.
Generally, they're very good at getting the races going, and we saw yesterday when they pushed through 15 total races in a very short time span, 2 hours, 30 minutes in total, I think the stream lasted. So, but when they are markedly over the line, they will call back the sailors and give them some discipline to start. Give them a new try and get on with the race. Yeah, that's what's happening now, and we'll have to wait. We all actually see the AP up now as well. And we're switching drones again. So AP always means something, right? It could be that the wind is turning slightly, but I don't see that from the flags. But let's see what they come up with in the Red Fleet. In the meantime, we're switching over then to following the Blue Fleet, going towards the mark. This is a sailor from Finland in a good position there. We also have Francesco Collotto from Italy. Clara from Denmark, from Strib Body Club. that's in the lead, having a good speed in the boat. But we also had a rounding up there that we missed. Let's see if we can see who that is.
Är det här roundingen på... For the people looking forward to the Red Fleet race, the AP was displayed a little earlier, but now it's down. So hopefully we'll start the race shortly. And meanwhile, we're watching the rounding here of the Blue Fleet. Most of the boats have rounded. Here we have Elsa rounding, Elsa from Sweden. Was actually at the 29th place of the overall ranking in the regatta at present.
So the first Italian that rounded in the Blue Fleet was Leonardo Scalpi that we missed earlier. He was a bit ahead of the Danish little lady.
And we're still with you. Don't worry. We're actually sending the drones over to the start of the Red Fleet. We have it here. Nice view of the Red Fleet.
Let's see if they can stay disciplined and we get a fair start again.
As just for the new viewers, you can see you have the committee boat at the top of the screen. and actually that's the middle of the starting line. So we have the one pin very close to us here in the orange rib, and then at the very far end behind the committee boat, there's another pin. Seems like most sailors are gathering around the pin closest to us in the picture. Quite nice to see. We have the very close to starting boat. We have 1884. He was the first one taking position next to the starting boat. I mean, it's actually a German sailor, Amanda Bow. I mean, he's ranked 498 at present in the regatta, but really taking a good position there.
Very courageous.
Very courageous, and we'll keep our fingers crossed for that paying off. You see him here? Actually, my favorite here is actually sailing along the just ahead of everyone, using the banana shape of the starting line here, or not the starting line of the boats, and actually tacking there. Very a very very bold move. He was about to really secure the start there.
But with a lot of practice, that will pay off.
Exactly, yeah. But that was a very very nice sailor for a move from a sailor ranked around 500 in the fleet today. So we would love to see more of that. And Amanda, we keep our fingers crossed for a continued sailing career. Good move.
Now we see a commanding start from 3 Italians here. They have probably practiced a bit in the Garda weather. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's their first time around these conditions and on this lake in particular. But it's lovely to see the fleet here. We have sailed from Puerto Rico, Germany, Estonia, Greece, Great Britain, USA, of course, Turkey. We were around 40 different nations battling out here on the water. So I think this great camaraderie of young sailors from all around the world gathering here, having a sort of a great time in the Riva del Garda on the evenings between the races, and just most magnificent time here on the water as of Lake Garda. Actually, what is the largest regatta in the world? The Lake Garda Easter meet, they actually have a Guinness World Record standing, being as the largest single class regatta in the world.
So I think we see a little bit of a pattern here. Many of the boats that starts at the pin are going out towards the wall that's leading from Riva up to Limone. And I've seen that in the other starts as well. So I think they feel that's a very beneficial start of the first leg to really start pin end and then push towards the wall with the weather phenomenon you talked about earlier, Robin. And now you see in picture the guys starting more around committee and breaking out there, and later on taking that, not getting the mountain in play, but getting free roam on the waters, right? And let's see towards the rounding mark who took the right choice.
Here we have a nice view of Puerto Rican sailing, Guillermo, who's 129th so far in the regatta. And here we are leaving this zooming of Johnny Rogers, one of the actual favorites for the trophy or the big plate this year. It's British sailor, currently in 13th position here. And with that, we're changing the drone view. So we'll see the start of the green fleet shortly. We're sending our drones down to the green fleet. So we have 2 minutes to start for the green fleet here.
And from the top of the list here in this race, we should have Andrea de Murtas, home sailor from Praglia Velariva. And also Isaka Sopardi should be in this overall 7 from Malta. And a club that you are much more...
Yeah, I'm familiar with Bercy, yeah, we used to sail for the Royal Malta Yacht Club, but Bercy is one of the other very, very good clubs on that beautiful island.
We're approaching
So we
1
see-
minute to the start. Will go
You see
approximately.
Demutas with 217, very, very close to the pin here. You see him coming out just next, if you look at the orange flag, and just to the left of it.
He's parked, commanding his position, right?
We have Jonathan from Denmark, actually placing himself just ahead of the Murtas, and now a lot of other sailors. Oh, we Mexican sailors here coming in.
And there the start goes.
And we have Oskar Nettelid, the Swede, who's closest to the pin here. His sailor had the pleasure to watch now in Argentina in December, in Mar del Plata, sailing for the World Championship. There's here Oskar tacking. So you will see Oskar with free wind, sailing off to the far right. Close to us here in picture. Oskar is currently on the 14th place in the overall standings. Maybe this should be his first bullet for the Garda Easter meet. And here we see the Murtas, 217, who's currently in 4th place for the regatta.
He's asserted himself a good track where he can sail in free wind. Also see someone mid-fleet. Let's see if we get a bit closer to see that. That's also very
It's
good.
nice that we have the Mexican sailor, Angela, here in 1250, currently on place 174 in the regatta, just chasing the Murtas here.
It could be Isak, potentially number 7 overall. Oh, it's actually someone.
No. Well, here, currently at place 47 from Malta, we have Luca Attard, also from Bercebuja. Nice view there on Luca. Clearly sailing in free wind. Sailing a very nice track there on his own. And with that, we're switching to the
red rounding.
red rounding of the first mark. And in the lead, we have the favorite, Arthur Briganti, who's currently in third place of the overall regatta, and naturally, actually, with just 6 points so far from the first 5 races, is clearly one of the contenders for the for the top of the podium, but currently in the podium position, of course. Arthur, who came off with the top start with the UFD for the first race, but then finished 3-1-1-1. So 3 bullets in a row there, and it looks like he's in pole position for his 4th consecutive bullet. And there you see Arthur rounding pretty much on his own.
He was also very well placed in the Europeans last year, coming in the top 5 in that competition.
And he's followed by Nicola Guani, sailing for Italy, 92.23. He's actually on 38th place in the overall ranking today. 5 consecutive places around top 10 so far. So good contender.
Dailov Sterion just rounded from Bulgaria. Johannes Brusk from Denmark.
Here we have Didrik Dahlberg rounding. Is coming up here. And Didrik is currently in 33rd position of the regatta and finished off yesterday with a bullet. So a very, very good sailor that we actually seeing tacking here just before the rounding, who I had the pleasure to follow also in Mar del Plata in Argentina for the World Championship. The youngest sailor on the Swedish World Championship team, born 2011. And with it, we will approach the start for the White Fleet. So
Final round for the first race, yeah.
exactly. So we have 5 fleets here for the junior division, and then we also have the Cadete. Oh, here we have a fantastic angle next to the pin from our drone pilots here. We see Amanda Pettersson, Swedish sailor, here, very close to us, one of the younger, more promising Swedish girls. Amanda, who also won the Swedish National Championships in the girls category. And there, oh, that's a nice position next to the pin here. Very interesting to see whether she can keep her position. Now, as you see, there's a big banana next to Amanda on the left-hand side. So we'll see whether any sailors will take the opportunity here and sail towards the committee boat next to the starting line and secure free wind.
They have a lot of room to maneuver that way, but it's also very complex for the kids in the middle of this to really know whether they're over or not, which is why this keeps happening. Yeah.
Oh. We have Anton Ekerstig here, 4774, whose brother sailed in the Ilka 4 just now and did very well. And Matilda Tam here, doing a fantastic start also from Sweden here. You see close in the picture. They're attacking. Very, very nice to see.
Amanda crossing the field, having a free passage there, yeah.
And Matilda is currently in place just over 400 in the regatta, making an excellent start.
Flew by Mary Green away, having a good start here. We're seeing Isa Kaplan, number 5 overall.
Nice room photos of Beatrice there at 159 from Italy. So for our new viewers, we are actually on the final day of the qualifying series. So the white fleet is just indicating in the starting order. It's no ranking between the various fleets. And tomorrow we'll do the final races. And then the white fleet will be the emerald fleet, and the yellow, the gold, etc. No, white will naturally be pearl. Sorry. And with that,
Grönkryss.
and now we will watch the rounding of the green fleet for the first mark. We'll see whether Andrea de Muertes will still keep his position here in the lead.
We see Oscar Nettelid in a good position, having a good start going out towards the mountains. Here we have the Murtas.
Yeah.
Closely followed by what I think is Amelie Meoni from Italy as well.
Oh, that's a nice view with the Turbulent Mountain in the background. And here we see the first mark. And actually, it doesn't look like it's the Murtas who will be rounding first. Instead, oh, we're from Malta. We have Luca Todd from Malta. That's fantastic to see. Currently 47th position in the race. Started off the regatta with a good 5th position, which is his best position so far. And now he's in the lead for the White Fleet.
Green Fleet.
Green Fleet it is. You're absolutely. Thank you, Peter. There we see Oscar Nettelid rounding. Currently, I believe 11th position. From Lithuania, we have Liepa Riemeti, female sailor, who's also I had the pleasure to see sail in Palamos earlier on this year. A very, very good sailor.
I also see Märta Bankel from Sweden rounding around, I would say 20. Yeah. Where are we now?
And there we see Otto Lazar rounding, also from Sweden. And Lisa Spad also rounding now. Followed by Oliver Björkman. So with that, we're moving over to the white fleet. White fleet, we'll see their first rounding on the first mark.
It was Matilda Tam in a good position. She actually handled the start very well and has capitalized on that. This will be the best race of her regatta if she managed to keep it up.
Yeah, so fingers crossed for Matilda.
We have Liselott Biesma from the Netherlands in a very good position as well.
And just behind her on the left-hand side, we have Filippo from Greece, also a good sailor, currently on the place 16 in the regatta.
We also see a group in the middle there that started more committee that will be in the race as well.
We have Roman from Italy in the lead here, 179, followed by Isa Kaplan, Sweden, 4906. Spectacular view over Lake Garda here. Here we see the first mark. And we have the city of Torbole in the background. Very nice here. Roman from Italy, sailing 179. I mean, is placed 65 currently in the regatta until today, followed by Isa Kaplan, one of the top sailors for the regatta, and fifth place. Nice rounding, and then there's a little space before we come to Filippo from Greece, also one of the top sailors, currently in place 16. So I think that's a very skilled top trio leading the rounding. And there we have Matilda Tam rounding clearly top 10 as well. Very nice to see. You remember her from the start of the race, who had a very, very nice start next to the pin. Free wind, and it seems to be paying off. We have Anton Ekerstig running there. Also, he was very close to Matilda in the start, if you remember. And that seems to have been a good move. Here we have Amanda Pettersson, who also had a chance to view an extra start. She was the first sailor taking a position next to the pin. Also winner of the girls category in Swedish Championship last year. We see a nice rounding here. We get some reports that the wind is dying down further down the race area. I think we have very little wind here.
This has been the challenge of the day, right? And it's tricky keeping it up in the same pattern for all 5 fleets.
But this week has been extreme when it comes to tricky weather here in Lake Garda, which is renowned to be the temple of sailing. This week has been a little different. I mean, it's still a great pleasure being here. Magnificent view with the Turbulent Mountain in the background. Fantastic to see 800 sailors on the water, but the weather has been extremely unpredictable. Extremely unpredictable. So we'll see how this day will play out.
There's been a constant battle of the overlying weather system of the region and the thermic way the wind normally works with the aura showing up towards the afternoon. So it's been a little bit of north and a little bit of south, and then a little bit of both at the same time, and which leads to no wind.
It seems to be some extreme currents here at the finishing line. Some boats has been standing still now with the flag closest to us, while others have just sailed past, taking a route closer to the other flag. Very peculiar pictures here.
So we have one fleet rounding and kind of crashing actually into the kids that are just crossing the finishing line.
And crossing the finish line doesn't seem to be the easiest thing today. Many boats just standing still there with meters away from the finishing line.
That's so sjukt.
I mean, this is just insane. Look how they just drift on, well, drifting onto the mark there. It's same as we had on the. You need to keep margin in currents like this, and light wind. You see a lot of sailors just being stuck next to the finishing line, being very random on, or very unpredictable at least on whom to pass first. Random, I wouldn't say, but very unpredictable.
And you see that they're basically sailing the course backwards to get up to the mark, fighting
This is
currents
one of the
constantly.
surreal images I've seen from the Lake Garda meet. Currents like this, no wind. You have to take. Ooh, look how they're drifting towards the mark. It's boom.
He made the run, but he should really do a couple of turns there if it's.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we're not the judges, but just the spectators for this, because this is painful to see. Look. Well, big thanks to our drone pilots. I mean, this is some spectacular action going on. It's very rare that you see conditions like this, especially on this level. Whoa, this is very different sailing. Ooh. Well, this is sailing, not pinball. Boom. Whoa. I mean, this is what. I mean, watch and learn, everyone. This is not easy, and you need speed and you need some margin. Don't get entangled there next to the mark. Wow, that was nice running. Well, they're literally standing still or drifting off away from the mark. Here we see another pinball move from Germany. Clever to take the chance to round where you have another sailing occupying the mark. Wow. I'm so happy that we can have drone pictures, because parents, coaches wouldn't believe the kids when they explain what happened on the course today, unless you have this fantastic filmage. Ooh. Well, these images are on so much value to coaching sessions going forward. And there you see good sailors doing the 360.
And this is some of the more the sailors that have a little bit more of routine coming in at high speed and getting a margin to counter for this.
Yeah, but it's also good. I mean, good catch on Matilda Tam, for example, doing her 360 there. It's not easy to get entangled in that mark. Boom. Oh, we had Corey Joyce there from Malta. Coming in with full speed to the mark. Well, you need speed. There's no other recipe. painful being. I mean, yeah. So let's leave that for a second and I'll try to get a view of the finishing line. As you may remember from the previous race, there were a lot of boats just standing next to the finishing line and not being able to, simply not being able to cross. Looks like the conditions are a little better now. Now we see the two blue flags marking the finishing line. Well, we see that the Community starting boat is heading back to shore. So that means that will be one race only per fleet today. Maybe that is quite lucky, actually. Now they tested sailing with little wind and strong currents. And I think it's time for many to go back, check the manual, and come back to race another day. We are currently seeing the finishing line for the red fleet.
Jävlar vad de trycks upp där liksom. Det är helt...
We plan to stick around here next to the finishing line to see follow the fleets as they follow the sails as they approach the finishing line. But now it's a mess between the fleets. Some sailors were used to the currents, some just got stuck at the roundings, some are still probably doing their 360s, and we'll keep the drones here on the finishing line and counting the sailors after this first and only race for each fleet today. Here's a good example here, seeing the German boat being so close to the finish line, but drifting off, and just seeing all the, I mean, you have 5-6 boats passing. When, I mean, losing 6 boats with just a meter left to the finish line must be quite painful. But so is sailing sometimes.
And in this current condition, the conditions that the current brings you into, you really have to maintain the speed, right? And short your course, because when you start trying to start from scratch again by jibing all the time or tacking all the time.
Margins and no fancy tricks. Keep a straight line, good speed. I mean, look here, for example, when we have the German sailor 80-30, move after move, seeing his friends just passing. and he has to tack. He's not coming. While others come further out in the course just with good speed, free wind, and will pass the finish line way before him. It's Anna Krupp there from Germany, sailing with 2014. It's been stuck at the finish line for the last couple of minutes, just between the committee, but there finally she has passed and she can sail back to shore. But good lesson learned and well done. I mean, this is one of the examples why you really would like the drone footage contrary to the metasail. In metasail, you wouldn't know what's going on. You cannot explain why someone stops a meter away from the finishing line. But here it becomes so vivid and clear. Seeing here, it will be tough for
We also have
that's just crashing into each other like that. It's well, we'll see whether there will be any protests after this.
we also have the added complexity of the fleets merging into each other. The experienced girls and boys that have been doing this for many years, they will be racing past and then crashing into the previous fleet, right? Also, the wind seems to be shifting all over, looking at the trackers.
You have green fleets passing, you have red fleets passing the finishing line now. It's and you have some boats just being parked next to the finish line. We'll see how Björn from Germany will battle it out here. Vadå? Att de tar... Okej.
Let's see what will happen. It's looking like they're going to let the white fleet finish the race in the gate, avoiding this chaotic last leg, since the wind has ceased to be a part of this, right?
Nah, but I think that's a very wise call, actually. We don't need more boats in the mess here, actually. And I feel sorry for some of the sailors waiting all day and then being parked just a few meters from the finishing line and not being really sure what to do and seeing other fleets just surpassing them. Here we have a look at hard from the green fleet finishing. Look at from Bersebuja that we had the chance to follow quite nicely over the course of this race. And we see Emiliano Rodriguez from Mexico there passing the finish line. So well done, and we're really glad that we had a chance to make it over to Europe here and joining the Lake Garda Easter Meet. After all, the largest regatta of the year and of this planet. Well, not a very nice move from I think Antonini from Italy, charging into his native national colleague and pushing back Mario a few meters and surpassing him. We'll see. Maybe the jury will spend most of the evening and some of the night trying to sort out everything that happened on the water today, both on the roundings, the 360s that, well, I wouldn't say all of them happened, at least not as many as there should have been. And on this finishing line, I think well, you can see for yourselves. If you fancy spending the evening in the with the jury, I think there's every chance to do so. And boom. And once again, I'm really glad that we have this footage. It's superb to see what the conditions are when you have little wind and strong currents and hundreds of boats. It's very difficult to practice on in theory and having the coach explain it to you on dry land. But once you've been in the water seeing this, I think it's a lesson of a lifetime. Some handling it well, some, well, not so nicely.
And we also feel that sitting here along the mountain towards Limona, that the wind has dramatically lowered since we started the transmission of these 5 races, right?
Yeah, at least they can go with the current back to Riva del Garda.
Absolutely.
We have to look at it from the bright side. So as Peter earlier mentioned, we will not see any boats from the white fleet here at the finishing line. They actually took the finish already down at the gate, so they didn't have to sail this last leg.
Looking at the tracker for the green fleet, they avoided a great number of tacks that way. It was not easy coming up here. You had to work the last leg for all the other 4 fleets.
Here we see a new move. First passing the finishing line, and then with the current just whacking down so you can finish it over and over again. We'll see what the judges think of that, but that's a new move from Querin Klapper from Germany.
We actually
seems to have decided to actually round the committee boat now.
We actually had a discussion regarding whether you get the DNC or if you do that, have you finished? And we didn't quite know that at the breakfast table. Would you say you know the rule book well enough?
No, I wouldn't be the one to go to for that. But I know that anyone who would like to spend some time with a jury tonight has every opportunity. I've never seen this many boats crashing into each other. I've always been a big fan of pinball, but I'll try to keep it on dry land rather than within the sailing. It looks like these last boats past the finish line have learned from some of the earlier boats and trying to keep a little more speed and avoiding being parked next to the finish line. Having to tack here in the middle is doomed to cause trouble. We see Oliver Björkman here in the middle, unfortunately being surpassed after his tack by a handful of boats. We see also Swedish sailor Gusten trying to make it up to the finishing line.
I think all of these kids are really worth an extra ice cream after that last leg of the course today.
We'll see whether they get ice cream or they get a long, long evening next to the jury. Yeah. And maybe next year around we bring our team sailing boats. That sort of is.
That would be safe.
They already have some marks and the tape all around it. Yeah, and well, as long as they park next to the finishing line, there will be more and more boats getting entangled here. Look at this China number 9 now tacking. Like a minute ago, she was really, really close to the finishing line. I think maybe 40 boats have passed, and she's not going to make it to the finish line this tack either. You see here, tacking. And
Yeah, as you say, more and more.
Follow this Chinese sailor. I mean, coming across half the world. I mean, it can't be a newbie really. But still, I think if you haven't said this before, it's impossible to guess. Spent like two minutes within 2 meters from the starting line, and they're finally being able to pass. But at least it was the right move to get some speed and get some good angle before having the patience to do that. We see Adam Laurin here, a really good sailor, but he's getting stuck there. Tacking, not having the space to get any speed and momentum, so he's just stuck and he's tacking again and he's drifting down further down. Now we will probably try to tack to get some angles, but then there are way too many boats. Oh, well, yes, now he's finally got some free wind. Maybe losing some 10 positions or so on that little move. And now he has the free wind to get some speed, angle, and there he can tack. Now he can actually cross the finishing line. But unfortunately, losing, I would say, 10 boats on that. Maybe not all from his fleet, though. Adam, who is actually one of the top sailers on the regatta today, 24 before today's race, and he had a spectacular run also in Palamos and Valencia. Once again, if we just follow one boat, we have like 44.91 Ebba Dangeria, who was next to the finishing line like a minute ago. And now are battling out in the middle of the group, just seeing sailor after sailor coming in from her right. Tough if you spent almost an hour out there and then finally getting some open space here, now being able to cross. I think it's time for us to say goodbye from the finishing line now, and we will. Oh, what a spectacular view! There you see the hundreds and actually 800 boats that's been battling out today on Lake Garda. We will say big thank you to all the sailors. I think this has been one of the most radical learning experience for some of the young sailors out there. I think people, whatever happens, will never ever forget this racing day. You've seen some of the favorites standing up to the expectations. I mean, sailing through. You've seen others being so close to making a spectacular move, but either being drifted off in full speed to the rounding mark or getting stuck in a tangle next to the finish line. We've seen boats bumping into each other in full speed, in little speed, in from the rear, and from pretty much any angle you can imagine. Nonetheless, I think we have to pay some great gratitude to this Temple of Sailing, where anything, I would say anything, could be expected. So big thank you everyone that's been watching, and big thanks to the organizer, and the largest of applause and hugs and gratitude to all the amazing sailors we've been following today. So with that said, big thanks and over and out. Stay tuned tomorrow.